tenuous points, because there are many ways to skin a rabbit in the sense of how to try and solve the problems within a monetary system without realizing what the root cause is, without addressing the root cause, without thinking at all about moving out of it. There's many different ways you can try to reform it, but none of those ways are actually going to address the root cause. None of those measures are actually going to attack the disease itself. And that is what we need to do. We need to attack the disease itself. No more reforms. Well, granted, reforms could pave part of the way, but reforms in and of themselves are not going to address the root cause of the problem. They're just, by their very design, they're just patches. By their very design, they're just patches. But it's like every now and then, sometimes I think about things that could be possible if only we lived in a resource-based economic model, or a similar sustainable model. Just for those of you who are at least partly familiar with the Zeitgeist movement, we don't claim that we have the only solution. We recognise that a resource-based economic model, it's a viable solution, but it's not the only solution. But now I sometimes think about the kind of things we can do for a resource-based economy. If a resource-based economy was a reality, the kind of things we can do. I'm quite a night owl in a sense. I generally don't go to bed early at all. So most nights I'm up when most people are asleep, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just sat here in this little room and on my computer, and granted I have ethereal electronic access to other countries, but I don't have physical access. I'm not actually out there. I want to be out there, but in order to get out there, what do I need? Money. And I keep going through in my head all these scenarios involving zip cars and maglev trains, and these zip cars that drive themselves, and so you can travel to the other side of the world in a matter of hours. It's ridiculous, the kind of restrictions that we've allowed ourselves to be hampered with. It's ridiculous. The very idea that we willfully allow ourselves to continue to be held back by money, it's like a cancer patient being told by the doctor, look, I'm sorry, you have lung cancer, or you have a brain tumour, you have prostate cancer, whatever. You have a doctor's there telling you have cancer, and you're sat there with your arms folded going, no, I just need to take some vitamins, I just need to get more exercise, improve my diet, I just need to employ these patchwork methods, and that will treat me of my cancer. Granted, I'm not belittling the immense power of a good diet and exercise, but I'm saying that and I'm not saying that there haven't been cases where cancer has been quote unquote cured by a simple change in lifestyle. I'm sure there has been, but characteristically, you can't cure cancer by mere patchwork methods. You have to get down to the root of the problem. You have to remove the tumours. You have to attack the tumours. You don't just fight the symptoms. of the cancer. For example, if you have a brain tumour which is operable, and your main symptom is chronic headaches and migraines or whatever, you don't just keep taking paracetamol and think that the paracetamol is going to rid you of your brain tumour. Okay? You need to go for surgery and get that sucker taken out. Okay? That's the whole crux of one of the things that the Zeitgeist movement advocates: root cause analysis. We need to get down to the root causes of our problems and seek how we can solve those problems when we address those root causes. But the thing is, it's too difficult in our current values. We're taught to, take that line of inquiry as too difficult to pursue. We're taught, oh no, that's way too much effort, that is. It's way too much effort. Well, sorry, it's not. Because if that were the case, then no one would be able to weed their garden properly. No one would be able to fight disease properly. These sort of things require root cause analysis. The only thing is, we need to be brave enough and we need to be strong enough to apply that on the societal level. Apply it to the societal level. And that is why, my whole spiel here about the year of 2012, things have been getting so bad. It is because we have been ignoring these root causes. And the root cause is our perpetuation of a system of scarcity, the use of a monetary system, and the perpetuation of nasty, separatist and apathetic values. Those are the root causes of our problems. We need to address those root causes, and we need to move on and evolve. So, I know this sounds like a lot of rambling, and that I may not be making any real sense at all, but just look back at the year we have had. Look back at the suffering and the death and the destruction and the collapse that is happening all around us. Is that the kind of future you want? For those of you who are parents, is this the kind of world that you want for your children? Do you think that you can stand by and say, "Oh no, I'll be long dead before that gets any worse"? Well, what about your children? What kind of world are you forcing them to inherit purely by virtue of giving birth to them? Do you think it's your duty as a parent to just bring them up well and just teach them good values and how to get good grades? No. Your response, because you have brought another human being onto this planet who will probably invariably live 20 to 30 years longer than you will, then the very idea is that you need to do whatever you can, whenever you can, to make sure you've done what you can to improve this world, because your child is now inheriting it. There's no skirting around the issue. This is a matter of principle. Okay? If we profess to care, then we need to try and make this world a better place. Now, I'd like to believe some of the things said about 2012, that it is some sort of ethereal transformation. It's the beginning of the age of Aquarius, and it's going to be some huge shift in our consciousness and all that stuff. I would like to believe that is the case. I really would. So how about if we start making that work? How about if we actually, push forward for that change. Because for one thing, you know, the best case scenario, the moral choice, is the least amount of suffering for everyone, correct? How do we go about achieving that? How do we truly achieve a world of abundance? How do we abolish scarcity? How do we provide for the needs of all 7 billion people on this planet, not just a few billion, and let all the rest of the billions starve and die? None of that, right? How do we provide for all 7 billion of us? How do we do that? Do we use money to do it? Is there enough money to do that? Well, we just got to start thinking about what we technically need to do in order to provide those necessities of life. When we think about how we can provide those, and when we realise we can, because I assure you we can, then we think about what's holding us back. And when we realise what's holding us back, we start thinking about, okay, how can we overcome those things that are holding us back? So that's probably enough for this episode. So I'm going to leave it here. Next time is going to be AAU TZM Podcast's 2nd birthday. So yay! And I'm going to be bringing you guys part 2 of the interview that I did with Aaron Moritz, called "Being a TZM Activist." But as for myself, I hope you guys have a good whatever you're celebrating this year. I'm not going to be celebrating anything because I'm not Christian or pagan. I will be participating in the First Christmas Project. For those of you who don't know what this is, essentially it's a campaign to urge people you know to instead of spending money to buy you presents, instead urge them to use that money that they would have spent to donate to charity, and donate to charity yourself, or I don't know, volunteer for some soup kitchens or something over Christmas. Do something, all right? That way, when you sit down with your family at Christmas, you won't be feeling guilty. You won't be thinking, I tell you what, I feel really guilty for having this stuff. I really need to spare some thoughts for those billions of people across the planet who have nothing at all. You won't be feeling guilty because you know you would have done something for them. You would have done something, and you wouldn't be feeling guilty. Okay? And you know what? Not only will you be relieved of your guilt about that, but you would have at least contributed to something that can make the world a better place. Okay? So come on, guys. Let's work together and make this world a better place. Truly make this world a better place. Take care, guys.